everybody. Thank you for joining me again today. This is Diva Lee from divalee.co, and I just wanted to read out a reading that I did for the Fountain of Youth yesterday. So I have been practicing and been shown by my guides how to access the morphogenetic fields of not only people, but situations, past historical events, planetary, sort of anything you can think of, really. So, and obviously that energy never dies, and when something happens and we create an energy, it just it gathers around in this morphogenetic field and it stays there. And I don't know how long for, whether everybody in everybody's lives and every tiny little thing happened to it is recorded somewhere. I would say it is, really thinking about it now. But yeah, that's sort of just a brief explanation. I call them multiverse readings because I'm learning to tap into different levels of reality. So like, we're in 3D, I can tap into 5D to 7D to 12D to whatever. And just practicing, I'm still learning, but getting good at it and getting more confident. I actually wrote a book like that, and it's called Stop It. And it's about the little ones and some very nasty things that have happened to them. They have passed over, and they tell their story, their soul. I've tapped into their morphogenetic field and seen what happened. And I am sure that these morphogenetic fields have their own consciousness too, because they seem to even talk, to give me visions, to in some instances, it was pretty violent, and I didn't want to write that down or share that with people. I wanted a softer version of, and they did it. They did that once, and I said, "Oh no, I can't put this up." I'm saying they, but the morphogenetic field is, well, it's a consciousness. So that morphogenetic field consciousness then rearranged things so that I could tell the story in a truthful, impactful, but gentle way, so that it's, it's not all the violence and everything. It gives you just enough to let you know what happened. So, and then I tapped into their soul's missions in the morphogenetic field. So, and whether you believe it or not, this is what I believe, and the fact that nothing happens to us by circumstance. Nothing happens to us, just out of the blue. We arrange everything. We attract everything that happens to us. If we want to stop nasty things from happening to us, then we've got to raise our frequency. Say that somebody has a lot of car accidents in their lives. Then, we might quite well want to look at anger and what, that bang, what is that all about? What anger are we holding on to? What, from the past or now. And it's usually trauma-based, so a fear. So really it's getting down and going down through the layers of, so it's anger, and it's through trauma, and we created that trauma through fear. So, and it helps us to get to our, the reason why things are happening to us. Well, these little ones all had a soul mission, and I give that soul mission at the end of each of the readings I did of their morphogenetic fields. And it's really quite interesting to know why somebody would put their hand up to be tortured and go through a torturous life. Now, the book's called Stop It, and it's on my website. It's which is divalee.co. It's under the shop tab. And once you, so you'll have to scroll down until you find it. And then once you purchase it, you've got the choice of either choosing an EPUB book format or the PDF. So please, please do me a favor, do yourself a favor, read it. It's really impactful. These things really are going on now, and the more people that know about it, the more we have a chance of putting a stop to it too. So that's that. Now, the morphogenetic reading or the multiverse reading that I did yesterday is actually giving us a little bit of advice on the Fountain of Youth and how we can access our, well, it's our birthright, it's our blueprint. We shouldn't just be living to, like 50 years old, 40 years old, even 2 years old. We shouldn't be living that long. We should be living hundreds or thousands of years so that we have enough time to heal our past, which is really, really big. You think that you might be able to do that in an instant, but you can't. It can take lifetimes. And that's why we need to live longer. We don't have to die and come back and do it over and over again. So, this reading that I did just goes into all of that. So I've written it down. I'm just going to get it up here. You won't be able to see it, but you'll be able to see me reading probably. And okay, let's start it. The Fountain of Youth, a hero's journey starts by waking up. Imagine that. Waking up to what? Well, waking up to who you really are and the talents and gifts you've been given. You are a rare breed of hybrids, and so many genetics within you have been manipulated. First, you have been through different stages during your lifetimes to make you forget about God and his power that is within you. Planting fear so that you can take whatever comes your way and not questioning the authorities. Why are we being so manipulated? You take your medicines from pharmaceutical companies that manipulate your very God-given everything. The dark ones that want to control you and use your freedoms as a stepladder for their own uses. Well, this hasn't worked out really well for them at the moment. So we can tell you that now, and this is why they are trying to destroy your earth, because they can't totally destroy or control us. Now, this started back in the Lemurian times. The Dark Ones tried to manipulate your human race. The beings that were in those times woke up fast and could not be genetically altered. Their connection to God was too strong, and every effort of the Dark Ones was thwarted. This is why Lemuria was blown away and even out of our history books. The Dark Ones are trying every manipulation they can possibly conceive of and try to do it at this moment in time. That is a leading to the name of this reading, the Fountain of Youth. That is what the Dark Ones are trying to do. Stop us from leading longer lives. Every poison in the universe at the moment is being used on this human race. But like King David in beating Goliath, you have to be brave and step out and be out of step with others who feel the fear, and instead, understanding the fear, most let it take them over. Now, the most important thing to do is to be more like the Lemurians and go within to find out where the fear is from. Is it fear of death, fear of losing control, fear of losing loved ones, fear of financial loss? The Dark Ones are clever in knowing that if they cause humans to fear, then they create that very scenario themselves. The Dark Ones only have to plant suggestions and humans do the rest. We are the creator race. We create everything. The dark ones don't have that ability. Deep down, all of humanity knows this, and more are waking up to this knowledge because the veils at this time and space are thinning. This is the time you have two choices: to grow or ignore your spiritual soul that is the deathless stream of consciousness within you. The more you tap into this part of yourselves, the more sacred wisdom is departed to you, giving you warnings, suggestions, and protection. As you grow your soul, the more your soul comes back through the streaming process and eventually incarnates fully within you and being fully functional. Lemurians are a race of people who worship gods and goddesses, so their stream of consciousness wakes within you. Then when you truly become higher in frequency, you have planetary streams and what they represent merging within you. Integrating all of these aspects of self, especially all shadow parts of self, that is when even the most maleficent planets have no influence over you. The more you study yourself and your shadows and become one with them by doing your diamond heart work, the more you can stand neutral and loving, even through the toughest of times, thus taking you out of the karmic cycle and leading you more and more into the realms of gods and goddesses. You see, you pray and worship falsities. You need to stop with the Hollywood fashion and music industries and their icons and become more and more back to the real ascended masters. You don't want the 3D stars streaming their consciousness within you. You want the real deal. In doing so, your karma closets will get flushed out. You'll have advice on health, wealth, family, etc. These knowings just pop into your consciousness. These streams are your inheritance, your right to activate. Can you see how this would be a fountain of youth? How long do gods and goddesses live for? Do they need a ton of food a day or have heavy transport systems? No. That is why you keep reincarnating to get to a stage where you can live long enough to finally come back to the older ways. Praying and listening and then doing, inviting God's emissaries back into your life to baptize you into the higher vibrational being that you already are. You just have to unpack it. Okay, so that was it. I thought that was fantastic advice. And I want to talk about the gods and goddesses, and a lot of people say, no, I can do this all myself. But I can tell you what I have experienced, and I have been on a fast track by inviting gods and goddesses, the Aurora Guardians into my life, and actually grounding myself into the 12D reality now by using a shield that is a shield of protection, and it has a feed line that goes straight in to the heart of God as well. Now, if you can do it yourself, that's absolutely fantastic. You go ahead and do it. But for me, I was told that this is a fast track way to get yourself into a higher vibrational state and to activate those old gifts that we don't even know that we have. I don't even know half of the gifts that I have got that aren't even activated. I haven't given them the key. And that key is actually learning to live in your heart and not in fear. And when you have gods and goddesses in your life, they remind you, they help you, they can actually activate that stream of them that makes them what they are. That stream of consciousness. They can activate that within you once you get high enough and you've created a relationship with them strong enough and they trust you and you trust them. It's a two-way streak. So when people say that, you know, we don't need gurus, we don't need gods, we don't need goddesses, we only need us. Well, how? How do we tap into a field when we're still in this 3D with veils, with brick walls, with firewalls that have been set up? There have been many, many technologies that the dark ones have used to stop us from accessing our gifts. But where if we tap in and create relationship with the gods and goddesses, God's emissaries, they can help and show us, or even do it themselves sometimes if they're allowed, to take out these technologies, to reactivate those streams of consciousness within us that make us back into gods and goddesses that we once were. And we have an original blueprint. And once we completely and fully become aligned with our original blueprint, with these streams and of consciousness, then we don't even know what we're capable of, really. But we will do little by little with each frequency raise. We get to know that our gifts and consciousness streams, what we can do with them and how to use them. And we're shown, as long as we keep our relationships healthy with God's emissaries. And to me, they're like the gurus that people don't want to have a relationship with. But I can actually, I do understand why people don't want that in the past, that gurus would be dark ones, that are cloaked, that, have taken things off us instead of giving us, instead of freeing us and showing us how to become our sovereign selves again. They've actually enslaved us, imprisoned us, taken away, put those technologies within us that block our connection to God. Any way they can, either etherically, in our physical bodies, through the poisons that are put out into our society from the sky, to our food, to our water, to our medicines. There's a reason why that they are taking natural medicines. They are blocking us from having them. They even stop us from accessing some. Why are they doing that? Why, when there's everything on earth that, within that creates illnesses within our bodies, there's also a remedy, a plant remedy on earth, and we don't have to take synthetic, chemical, pharmaceuticals that have the dark one's imprints all over them, and we ingest them, and they never heal anything. They probably put a cover over it. And also the gods and goddesses, they can show us or prompt us or give us a dream that show what emotional work we have to do to diffuse that disease or those blocks, like whether it's relationship blocks, manifestation blocks. They can even help point out a belief system that you have that's blocking you. So any number of things, really. Anything that you've got, there's a god or goddess out there that can help you. If you don't know which one to get, if you can Google your problem and what God can help, and that doesn't come up, then ask God which of your emissaries, and you'll probably see a God and you don't pay any attention. So God, gives it to you again in another different way. Like normally happens to me 3 times when I'm not really paying attention. And, so like the third time is like a lucky charm for me for some reason. Has to happen 3 times sometimes, for God to get through to me what he wants me to do, what God or goddess that, I need to invite into my life, to worship, to honor them and start a relationship with them and to love them. I suppose love is a better word than worship. So some people don't like worshipping. So maybe the modern way is to just love them, start a relationship with them, talk to them, pray to them every day. 5 minutes a day, that's all it takes. That's all it's taken me. My husband and I, a long time ago, started a business together. And whenever we have, we can see a dip in the finances coming, we pray to Lakshmi. And an aspect of Lakshmi is called Shri Brizzy. And there's plenty of Shri Brizzy YouTubes with Dr. Pillai, who introduced that aspect of Lakshmi called Shri Brizzy to me. And he's got them on YouTube free. You can listen to that every morning. Do it. To change yourself, it takes a lot. So do it until you don't need to do it anymore. And Lakshmi, don't forget to thank her either. When things start going well in your lives, don't just, get on with your life and forget all about Lakshmi, because then you could easily close over again, which is what I've done in the past. I get on this beautiful even path and everything's going fine, and I forget to start praying to Lakshmi and, or thanking her when things do go right. And I just go back to square one and then I have to start again. So it is good to be thankful for them, to keep them in your prayers and keep that relationship going with them. You and I, after all, we are the brothers and sisters of the gods and goddesses that our ancestors used to use all the time. Lakshmi has told me that herself. I am her sister. I am her mirror. So the more you get comfortable with the gods and goddesses and the help that they can give you with things that you know nothing about, then the more information they will give you, the more information they will help. They will keep you on a path. A couple of times I've got off onto the wrong path and I've had a dream about being on the wrong path, or Lakshmi will just say, you're on the wrong path. No, don't go down there. And I would not have known. And it saved me a lot of time, money. So use them. Thank them, love them, invite them into your lives, and eventually that stream of consciousness that God or goddess is will actually activate within you, and they will work their hardest and damnedest to help you to achieve that goal. And how do we do it otherwise? It can take lifetimes. This is a fast track. So use it if you're comfortable with it. So in that reading that I did, it recommended that you do the Crystal Heart meditation. And I think I have got it in my store. I'll put a direct link up below for you to buy if you want. If you've got something else, then please use that. But I will put the link below here. And I thank you so very, very much for listening to me. How long have we been going for? I've been talking for 25 minutes and I think that's long enough. So anyway, God bless you all. I think I am going to try and do a couple of these readings on different circumstances or things that people are wanting to know about. If you have any suggestions, you can leave it in the comments below this video on YouTube or Rumble, and I'll get them and I'll see what I can do. Okay, I love you all. Thank you. God bless you all. Let's get this fast track going for us. Let's use the gifts that God gave us. God bless.